everybody, my name is Brenna Bromwell and I'm here to talk to you today about what I like to call the college mindset. So before I get into that, I want to talk about what I like to think of as the evolution of schools. So you start off going to school, and in kindergarten and early elementary school, like first and second grade, it's the highlight of your day, and it's something that you love to go to and something that you look forward to. And you get to do all of these fun things like arts and crafts, and you get to go on field trips and have nap time, and creativity and just the love of learning is really an essential part of this time. And then you start getting into middle school and like later elementary school, and it's more about grades and standardized test scores and your GPA and the classes that you're taking, and that love of learning slowly starts to diminish. And then finally in high school, it's all about college and standardized test scores and the ACT and SAT and what your GPA is, whether or not you made the honor roll or are part of NHS and all of the clubs that you belong to. And so my point is, I'm not standing up here and complaining about school, because as a teenager going into finals next week, I could do that for hours. But my point is that I think that high schoolers and that schools have lost their way, and that creativity and the love of learning has been replaced by college and the urge to get into the college of your dreams. And so Albert Einstein once said, "The only thing that interferes with my learning is my education." So ultimately, I think that school and traditional education methods have set me up for failure in regards to my 20 time. Kids these days and high schoolers are all wrapped up in what I like to call the college mindset. And by that, I mean that all high schoolers think of things in terms of how this will benefit them for college and how they can utilize this on their college application, whether or not it makes them happy. And kids are doing things just because they think this will help them. And I think that schools and society today really encourage this mindset, because there's this preconceived notion that if you don't think of everything in terms of college, and if you don't start preparing for college as a sophomore or even a freshman, that you won't get into a good school and that you won't succeed in life. So for my 20 time project, I decided that I was going to learn how to code or program. And for those of you that don't know what programming is, it's pretty much a series of keystrokes and letters and numbers and brackets that make up the interface of the internet and computers. It's like the control panel of computers. And so I decided that I was going to teach myself how to code, and so I started using codeacademy.com, which was a website that you could go on and it would teach you lesson by lesson coding and programming. So I started off with HTML, which was the most popular coding process. And I could stand up here and I could say that I was genuinely interested in learning how to code, and that I really wanted to. But the fact is, I wasn't really interested in it then, and I'm still not today. Well, you might be thinking, why did I do it if I wasn't interested in it? Well, because I am the classic type A kid who takes all honors classes and who is obsessed with their GPA and getting into a good college, and I'm stuck like any other high schooler in this college mindset. And just the other day, I was babysitting this little girl, and she had the cutest little bob and this big blue bow in her hair, and she had just gotten home from school. And she was telling me about all of the things that she did at school that day and all of the different arts and crafts that she made. And you could see with the big grin, ear to ear on her face, that she loved school and that she genuinely enjoyed it. And that's when I realized that I was jealous of this little girl because I hadn't been able to enjoy school and like been able to have creativity back in my education since I was her age. So anyways, I continued on coding, but I soon learned that I had no drive, no motivation, and no passion to complete this project, which, believe me, made for a very long year. Spent doing not a lot in regards to the project. And so from this, I learned that I think schools have lost their way in the fact that they are encouraging kids to start preparing for college so early that there's no room for creativity anymore, and the love of learning has been programmed out of us. So my point is that I think schools should be a place where kids can flourish, and that a place that they want to go and that they look forward to going to. And creativity shouldn't be something that is prohibited. It should be something that is nurtured. And I realize that not every kid is a mathematician or a poet, which means they shouldn't have to take classes that they aren't interested in. Obviously, we're going to have the core curriculum like math and science and social studies, but I think that in high school especially, it's important to nurture kids' creativity and for them to want to learn. And I think by having classes that actually interest kids, I think this will bring back the love of learning and the creativity back into schools. And that is why I think that 20 Time is a project that should be implemented into all schools, because even though I believe I failed at this project in the end, it's a project that let me be creative and let me have the freedom that I haven't had in so long. And I think that every kid should be able to do this. And I think by having 20 Time in schools, that everybody will finally be able to pursue their passions. So as Pablo Picasso once said, every child is an artist. The problem is how to remain an artist when we grow up. Thank you very much.